Welcome to the world of Zip System Building Enclosures, where we believe in striving for optimal air, water, and thermal management, no matter the region or climate. Because when you have the right products to do the right job the right way, the first time, you're building to a higher code.
I'm Jake Bruton, and today on the Build Show, I want to talk about first impressions. Let's do it now. Okay, so there are many different ways that you can make a first impression, from company gear to company trucks to signage or clean job sites. I think that it's one of those things that for the first part of my career, I never thought about. And then as soon as I decided that it was probably important that we make good first impressions, it became something that kind of consumed me for a while. And so I'm going to share my opinions on it for how it affects our business. It might not apply to you. It might not apply to your business model, but I'm going to give you what I think, and then you do with it what you will, which is actually the theme of every one of my videos. So let's start with first impressions for like the online atmosphere. This Build Show, our YouTube, our Instagram, or the podcast, all of this that we do is geared towards sharing knowledge to other builders, but we also do it in a way that it gives a first impression so that you get to know who I am, so that you get to know what our company does, and to put our company's best foot forward in a professional manner. We get paid to do our advertising, and we get paid to make that first impression. So I would argue, obviously, that an online presence today is important. And the thing that most people that I see that are builders on Instagram miss is the pretty picture doesn't sell the job. The personality and the getting to know the person before you even make a phone call sells the job or sells the project. You've heard Reisinger talk about it probably. He had 70 views on a YouTube channel. And he went to a job, and the person was like, "Oh, I'm so happy to meet you. We watched all your videos. We can't wait to work with you." That foot forward is a good first impression. So number one is the internet. And I would say, if you tell people that you need to have your website redesigned or that you're redesigning your website, stop. Just get it done, get it redesigned. And if you think it needs to be updated, don't tell anybody. They don't need to know that your opinion is that your website sucks. Just let it be what it is until you can afford to have it updated. And don't make that website 45 pages long to simply say, "We built pretty houses and we're good at it. You should hire us." Because I just said it in 3 sentences. It should not take that long for you to be able to explain why you should work with your company. Hire a professional, get it done professionally, and make it so that they know that it can be edited at some point. And now we have our entire online storefront or our persona. It's out there, it's protected, and it's good quality, and it's going to be something that allows people to get to know you and to decide to work with you before they even talk to you. Next, I would say, is the impression that you give the public that might not even be looking for you. So while we assume that people that follow us on Instagram or on the Build Show are looking for our content or looking for a builder, the person that's just driving down the road or living in a neighborhood where we work, those things, those people need a different type of impression as well. And so all of our trucks are branded. They all have Aarow Building on the side. They do not have a phone number. This is a point of contention sometimes within our office. It has been in the past. The odd thing is, I felt like when we had phone numbers on our trucks, we got service call type work. There's nothing wrong with service call type work, but it's not what our firm does, and it's not what we specialize in. So we've given a small barrier of entry by not putting our phone number on the truck. I actually had an employee one time that said that we should do latitude and longitude, and that's it. And then people would have to figure it out and look it up for ourselves. I think that's a little too far in the other direction. But we're choosing to not have our phone number on there because we want people to look us up to learn about us before they try to make any sort of commitment. Or we want them to walk up and knock on the door and talk to the homeowners and go, "Hey, are these guys any good? Have you enjoyed working with them?" Those sorts of things. The same thing goes for our trucks. I have had people call and say, and granted, nobody that works for me now, oh, this truck that says Aarow Building on the side of it was speeding down the highway. They did have to look up the phone number, but I would like to think that that's not a perennial problem with our employees. We have a responsible group of folks that work with us, so we're not worried about it from that perspective. We want you to just back of your mind, repeat and see an Aarow Building truck running through your neighborhood on a regular basis, because you live in a neighborhood that we work in a lot, or you see our sign that's in a front yard, and it's the same way. We have signs that look different than most people's signs in our market. They do not have our phone number on them, and they're not provided by the lumberyard. So they're not co-branded with our lumberyard. They're not a yard sign that is the same size as a realtor sign. They're bigger, they're taller. They're still respectful to the house. They're not going to be gaudy or anything like that. But any project gets a sign out in front of it. And in reality, that helps the lumberyard find us. We have a project going right now that there are, I think, 4 houses within like, 1 house radius that have construction going on. Ours has a sign, the other ones don't, or a couple of the other ones don't, so it's easier to find our project. That makes the lumberyard like us a little bit better. Business cards. So now that you've called us, you want to meet with us. My first meeting with you, even though we've talked on the phone and we've emailed back and forth, and my email signature has our contact information and information about our company and our website and all that in it, you still get a business card the first time I see you. We have 2 different business cards. We have a nice, thick paper business card that I would, again, my personal rule, it's got to be business card shaped. It's got to be the same size as the other ones, because if you want people to keep it, it needs to be easily organized with other business cards that they keep. And it needs to be on good cardstock and printed professionally. It's not that much money. And I think I spent $500 like 6 years ago on 500 business cards, and I still have a few left. They're still floating around, and I keep them in my truck at all times so that I could hand them out. The other business card that I have is the digital business card. And that business card is not to hand out to clients. I don't want my contact information from a client perspective to get jumbled in with other people's contacts. I want that physical card. I want them to go through the process of typing in my contact information, because I want that relationship with the card and with the context of that, the how that card was given, or I want them to hold on to the card. The digital cards that I have, those are suppliers or reps or other builders or subs. If you need to talk to me about something, I'll give you my card. Or if I run into you at a conference or a symposium or something, that digital card is used for that. It's not as clean, it's not as memorable, it's not as nice, so therefore we don't use it for clients. It sounds weird to have all these little rules, but public perception is how we sell our business, and we don't do any advertising on billboards or phone books or mailers or anything like that, because we blend in with everybody else in that instance. We would rather choose to be above all of that because of what we're trying to market our business to do. It does not mean that it's wrong for your business. It does not mean that it's wrong for your market. For us, it's not what we want. The last thing, we're going to go back to like the yard sign. We have a project going on right now, like I said, that we have multiple houses having work done. Our dumpster is in the driveway and it's at the very back of the house. Our porta pot is around the back side of the house next to the driveway. They can still get to it to empty it, to clean it, to whatever. If you look at the project next door, I love the builder. I think he's a great guy and they do good work. Their dumpster's in the front yard, there's a trailer in the front yard, and there's a porta pot in the front yard. And this is a historic neighborhood with very nice houses and people that care very much about their neighborhood. It is a neighborhood that sees lots of upkeep, that has neighbors that are very involved in things like the homeowners association, and they care about their neighbors. All of our mess is around the back side of the house where nobody can see it except for the adjoining neighbors. All of their mess and their stuff is in the front yard, where it makes sense for them to stage it, but it doesn't make sense from a public perception standpoint. So it's the little things. I really do think it's the little things that add up to our success. I think our project managers would agree. They think about things the same way that we do or that I do. And we've done a really good job of ingraining it's easy to maintain a reputation, but it's really hard to overcome a reputation. So if we never let ourselves be the one that's speeding, the one that puts up a junky sign, the one that has a porta pot out by the street that gets blown over in the wind, if we're not those contractors, then people aren't going to think of us as those contractors. So if you take nothing away from this other than its perception, and for God's sakes, quit making business cards that aren't business card size. Grow up. It's a standard format. That one pisses me off. Thanks for watching today on The Build Show. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. That is your key to getting weekly updates of all the videos that are going up. You might miss something if you don't have that. There's just too much content. Don't forget to follow the Unbuild It podcast, and that's a podcast that Steve Basic, Peter Yost, and I do together. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Have a nice day.